The North Carolina Tar Heels are you guys lost by what, 30 almost 29 to Kentucky. 98-69 was this was a I put in my notes, you'll like this was a severe ass kicking, Tate, because severe Wheeler, see what
severe
I yeah severe ass kicking. Severe Wheeler has 26 points. RJ Davis, Caleb Love, and Leaky Black combined for 20 for North Carolina. So if you're wondering what went wrong, I think you can just boil it down to just that right there. The guard play of Carolina was not great.
Yeah, what went wrong, Titus, is that Carolina agreed to this game without a scout. And now I'm going to say that again. They agreed to this game, and they went into it blind. And Hubert Davis said, this is what Coach Smith does. You know, we don't have to scout these guys. We play our game.
They have to scout us. Yeah,
you got to scout us because we're Carolina, and everybody knows how good Carolina is. We're so good. This game opens up, Titus, and RJ Davis is bringing the ball up the floor. Severe Wheeler picks him up full court and just rips the ball from him and goes for a layup. This is early in the game. And the next possession down, RJ Davis pushes Severe Wheeler, gets a foul called on him. And I texted my brother at that time, and I said, we're going to get blown out in this game. And the rest of the game, I mean, you said Severe Wheeler had 26 points. He got escorted for 22 of those points, where R.J. Davis or Caleb Love or Anthony Harris, whatever guard was there, they just ran next to him and let him, go in for the easy layup. You know what I mean? And so I think he scored 4 points, and the other 22, you should give some credit, an assist to the Carolina defense, because they did a really good job of letting that happen.
Go
ahead.
No, I was saying, like, the Carolina guards are playing defense like a coach during a drill where, like, you have to finish the layup, and the coach is, like, kind of providing a little defense, but not really. That's what Carolina guards look like.
Exactly. It literally is just running next to the guy where he goes in for the layup.
You just kind of swipe as he goes up for the shot. Yeah.
There was a point where Severe Wheeler looked at the bench like at Calipari, and he just, like, kind of chuckled because he's like, man, like, I'm picking these guys up full court. They're making zero adjustments, and they're shook. Like, R.J. Davis, when he's bringing the ball up, Titus, one time Severe Wheeler didn't pick him. I don't think he was in the game, but they didn't pick him up full court. And the way that R.J. brought it up the court, he was, like, doing spin moves, like, crossing up. There's nobody guarding him. You know what I mean? That's how shook he was in his mind from the pressure in this game. And, I mean, the real conversation is one, like, North Carolina. I've never seen North Carolina play since 2010. When we played that year and went to the NIT after the national championship year, we lost to Duke by like 30 points at Cameron. And I remember that game vividly because I was like, oh my God, like, this is an embarrassment for our program, but also we're coming off a national title. So you kind of like let it. But this is 3 straight years of North Carolina basketball not being North Carolina basketball. And a lot of people are like, what do you mean, like, North Carolina basketball, like, you expect to win every single year? I don't expect to win a championship every single year. I expect to play Carolina basketball. I have no idea. These guys don't rebound. These guys don't run the primary break. These guys don't run the secondary break. These guys don't talk to each other. These guys don't play defense. These guys, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And then I shit you not, Titus, after the game, right? So I watched this 30-point blowout. It's almost like at the end of it, I'm like pulling for Kentucky. I'm like, man, I like the way these guys play. They're picking up Carolina full court up 30, by the way, at the end of this game, which I'm like, I love it. Why would you not? After the game, and this is my problem, after the game, Hubert Davis, who I've had some issues with some of the comments he's made already this season, he said after the game that he went to John Calipari and said, I just want to thank you for what you did today, kicking our ass, because our team needed that, and they needed to see what it was like, to be the team that we want to be. We needed to get our ass kicked today. That's what he said to John Calipari. Now, I hope to God he didn't actually say that. I hope this was just in his press conference, is what Hubert said, because if he did say that to Calipari, I bet Calipari walked back to his locker room laughing like a maniac. You know what I mean? Like yes. What is going on? Like, thank God I don't have to worry about Carolina anymore, right? That would be his takeaway if he actually said that to him. Like, this team is nothing that I have to concern myself with. Hubert's hyperbole is at an all-time high. And after this game, him saying that, I am concerned. We joke about the panic button. I have hit the panic button so hard that it's not even making noise anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I have broken the panic button. There are no sirens.
It was never plugged
broken.
in.
No one's listening. I'm slamming the button, and no one's coming to help me. And I honestly, I was not shocked by the result of that game. That's the worst part about it. Like when it started and RJ gets picked early in that game, I was like, oh, this is going to be a disaster.
Well,
and it was worse than I ever imagined.
I'll back you up on that. On that's not revisionist history. That when Ohio State and UCLA both dipped out, and it was pretty obvious that Carolina and Kentucky were just going to play each other in Vegas. We both had plans to go to Vegas. We were going to go. We go to the CBS Sports Classic every time they have it, which who even knows when they're going to have it. They didn't have it last year. They didn't have it, whatever. But I told you, I was like, I'm not going anymore if Ohio State's not playing. I don't care about. I'm not going to go just to watch Kentucky and Carolina. And I was like, are you going to go? And you're like, honestly, I don't think I am. I don't think this is going to go well for us. Weirdly, you were like more confident in playing UCLA than you were playing Kentucky.
Absolutely.
UCLA is a better team, but
absolutely, because Kentucky was coming off Notre Dame. Calipari, like what Kentucky does and how they do things, like La Familia, like everything that Cal does is Dean Smith adjacent. You know what I mean? Like he's taken a lot from Dean Smith, and that's how he like runs his program. And so the fact that you're like getting your ass kicked by someone that is stolen from your leader, like you know what I mean? It's like it's sick. It's twisted.
Everybody stole from Dean Smith.
I know, but the Calipari, like he admits that he's like Dean Smith's my hero, it's my favorite coach, that's like my guy. And then for him to do that to Carolina, something that he has a reverence for, and then it almost to be a joke, you know what I mean?
That's concerning. If Hubert's takeaway from this game is like this was good for us because we have to learn how to lose before we can learn how to win. I don't love that. I've never loved that line of thinking. We have to learn how to get our ass kicked to be good. I don't think you do. I don't think that's how. I think the teams that win national championships usually don't get their ass kicked. They usually are just like good all year, right?
And he's the one that has put that onus on this team. He said at the start of the year that they were a national championship caliber team. He said after the Tennessee game, Titus, and this is verbatim, he said you would never see his team play with that lack of effort again. And you know what? He was right because they played with less effort this time around. So I mean that I guess he didn't lie to us that time. There's a difference between optimism and delusion. And I already told you guys I'm delusional. So like you know, I can speak on delusion as an expert. Like delusion is what is happening with this program, and the fact that after the game it was trying to be spun into a good thing. This is chaos. Roy Williams was not at the game. That was the first game he had missed. So, like, you didn't have your safety blanket of, like, hey, coach like, help me out at halftime. Like, what do we do here? You're like, yeah, none of that. And you get exposed and you get blown out. And Hubert's a first-year head coach. So I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But when you say these things, like we're a national championship team, Caleb Love's the best defender in the ACC, Leaky Black's going to play in the NBA. Like, you say these things and – There's NBA people I know. Like I texted a friend of mine this weekend because before the game, Hubert had said that Caleb Love was a lock for a first-round pick. So I texted my friend, who works in the front office and does scouts for them. I said, "Hey, what is Leaky Black like? Was he a first-round pick? Question mark. Like just generally asking." He said, "No effing way," all caps. So like, you know what I mean? You say these things that are just not going to – I mean, maybe they come true if Caleb Love completely changes how he plays over the next 3 months. But, like, you say these things and then they're not close to reality. And I know they're trying to be optimistic, but it lends yourself to, like, this credibility issue, right, where everyone's like, can I even take what he says at face value because it's delusional? You know what I mean? Like, it's delusional. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, the silver lining, Tate, as you said, this was not North Carolina is not playing Carolina basketball, so you could argue that Carolina actually hasn't lost in the last 3 years because they're not playing Carolina basketball at all. And
I just don't understand what happened to like. Titus, when you think of North Carolina basketball, like in your mind, a team makes a shot. What do you immediately think? Like Carolina runs to quickly as an inbounds and tries to beat them down the floor for a layup, right? That is Carolina basketball.
Carolina, I would say for the longest, like the last decade or so, I would say Carolina, Rick Pitino, the Rick Pitino era of Louisville, and Tony Bennett of Virginia are the three most distinct styles of play that like
you know what it is when you see it.
Exactly what it is.
Yes.
I know exactly. I don't need to know who is on Rick Pitino's Louisville roster. I don't need to know who Tony Bennett has coming back for Virginia. I know exactly what that team's going to look like this year because I've seen it a million times. And then those coaches have hammered it home like, this is how we play. This is how we're going to play. If you and I played for Carolina, Roy Williams would have us playing that way. He doesn't care about it. He's like, you're going to play this way. This is how we play. So to your point, I agree with you that like when you watch Carolina now, you're like, the jerseys do say North Carolina, but this is not
North Carolina.
I
don't know what it
like
is.
North Carolina, yeah.
And it's honestly, it's not for lack of talent. You know what I mean? Like that. That's why I think that's why I'm so like flabbergasted because I cannot imagine having 4 McDonald's All-Americans, as Brady Manick has pointed out, and having everyone on the team seem like they're just trying to get theirs, which is like the opposite of North Carolina. That's never been North Carolina. That's Duke basketball.
Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.